The stairs creaked. Each step was a groan of protest. The air grew colder, thick with the smell of damp earth and something else. Something unwelcoming. A single bare bulb cast a sickly yellow light, barely penetrating the oppressive darkness. This was the basement, a place where shadows danced and fears whispered. This is where our journey into the heart of darkness begins. We delve into the chilling tales of basements that have become synonymous with the unexplained and the terrifying. These are stories whispered in hushed tones, passed down through generations. Tales that remind us of the primal fear that lurks just beneath the surface of our everyday world. Our first stop takes us to a small town in Indiana. A young couple, the Millers, moved into a charming, century-old home. Little did they know their charming home held a dark secret. Their basement, a dirt floor cellar, was unusually cold. Colder than the winter air outside. They dismissed it as old houses often are. Then, the whispering started. Faint at first, like the rustle of leaves just beyond the basement door. It grew louder over the weeks. Whispers in the dark, just at the edge of understanding. They called in paranormal investigators. The investigators recorded strange electromagnetic fluctuations. They never identified the source of the whispers. Our next tale transports us to the bustling city of London. An elderly woman, Mrs. Hawthorne, lived alone in a grand Victorian house. Her basement, once a servant's quarters, was now a labyrinth of forgotten rooms and dusty furniture. One evening, Mrs. Hawthorne heard footsteps in the basement, heavy, deliberate footsteps. She dismissed it as her imagination. But the footsteps continued, night after night. The sound of keys jangling, the distinct clinking of a teacup on a saucer. These phantom noises suggested a presence. Was it a restless spirit reliving its former life, or something more sinister? Mrs. Hawthorne never found out. She moved out, leaving the mystery of the unseen guest unsolved. Our final destination takes us across the pond to a quaint suburb in Connecticut. Here, the Harper family experienced something truly chilling. Their basement was finished, a cozy space for family gatherings. Yet, something felt off. A pervasive sense of unease hung in the air. It started subtly. Objects moved slightly, toys changing position overnight. Then they noticed the family photos. The pictures, all taken in the basement, showed strange anomalies, blurry figures lurking in the background, distorted faces, twisted into grotesque smiles. One photo in particular sent chills down their spines. It showed their youngest daughter, smiling brightly, with a shadowy figure standing behind her, its hand resting on her shoulder. Section 5. A glowing presence. These stories, though miles apart, share a common thread. They are woven together by the eerie glow of the unknown, a light that beckons us to explore the depths of our fears. They tap into our primal fear of the unknown, of the darkness that lurks just beyond our perception. The flickering lights and shadowy corners play tricks on our minds, making us question what is real and what is imagined. The basement, often a place of forgotten memories and discarded belongings, becomes a breeding ground for our deepest fears. Each box, each dusty item, holds a story, a fragment of the past that refuses to be forgotten. It is in these subterranean spaces, where the light of day struggles to penetrate, that we are confronted with the possibility of something more, something beyond our understanding. The faint light that struggles to break through the darkness serves as a reminder of the thin line between our world and the unknown, the whispers, the footsteps, the shadowy figures in photographs. These unsettling sounds and sights are not just figments of our imagination. They are echoes of a realm that exists just beyond our reach. These are not mere figments of our imagination. They are glimpses into a realm that exists just beyond our grasp, a realm where the boundaries of reality blur and the unknown becomes tangible. They are glimpses into a realm that exists just beyond our grasp, a realm where the veil between our world and the next is thin, and the faint glow of the unknown beckons us to explore further. A realm where the veil between our world and the next is thin. It is in this ethereal light, in the thin veil of mist, that we find ourselves drawn to the mysteries that lie beyond, forever curious, forever seeking answers. Section 6. The Abandoned Playroom. Consider the story of the abandoned playroom. A family in rural Vermont reported hearing the distinct sound of children's laughter coming from their basement. Upon investigation, they found an old, forgotten playroom. Toys were scattered about as if children had just been playing there, but the room was dusty, untouched for years. The laughter persisted. Sometimes it was the happy sound of children at play. Other times it morphed into a chilling cacophony of shrieks and cries. The family, unable to bear the unsettling noises, moved out. The sound of children playing, however, reportedly continues to this day. A haunting reminder of the unseen world that exists alongside our own. Section 7. The unsettling discovery. Then there is the chilling tale of the unsettling discovery. It all began in an old, decrepit apartment building that had long been abandoned by its former residents. The building stood as a silent witness to the passage of time, its walls holding secrets that were waiting to be uncovered. A contractor, working on renovations in this forsaken structure, stumbled upon a hidden room in the basement. The discovery was purely accidental, as he was tearing down a seemingly ordinary wall when he noticed a hollow sound behind it. Inside, he found a small wooden chair facing a blank wall. The chair was old and worn, as if it had been there for decades, silently observing the emptiness of the room. A single flickering light bulb hung above, casting eerie shadows that danced on the walls. The light seemed to struggle against the darkness, creating an atmosphere that was both haunting and oppressive. The air was heavy, thick with a palpable sense of dread. It felt as though the room itself was alive, breathing in the fear and anxiety of anyone who dared to enter. The contractor, overcome with an overwhelming sense of unease, left the room and refused to return. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, that something malevolent was lurking just out of sight. The discovery of this room, seemingly designed for some unknown and sinister purpose, sent chills down the spines of the building's residents. They whispered among themselves, speculating about the room's dark history and the horrors that might have taken place within its walls. What transpired in that room? The questions haunted the minds of those who lived in the building, their imaginations running wild with possibilities. Who was forced to sit in that chair facing the blank wall? The questions linger unanswered. The room's purpose remained a mystery, a dark enigma that refused to reveal its secrets. Adding to the unsettling mystery of the basement, the room became a focal point of fear and speculation. It stood as a chilling reminder of the unknown, a place where the past and present seemed to converge in a haunting dance of shadows and light. Section 8. The unanswered question. These stories, while unsettling, serve as a stark reminder. There are things in this world that defy rational explanation, things that challenge our understanding of the natural order. The basement, often a symbol of the subconscious mind, becomes a conduit to these unexplained phenomena. It is in these dark, often forgotten spaces that we are confronted with the possibility that we are not alone, that there are forces at play beyond our comprehension, forces that can manifest in unsettling and terrifying ways. The question is not whether these stories are true. The question is, what do they tell us about our own fears and the nature of reality itself? Section 9. A lingering fear. The fear of the unknown is deeply ingrained in the human psyche. It is a fear that transcends cultures and generations, a universal experience that binds us all together. From the earliest days of humanity, we have been wary of what lies beyond the light of our campfires, of the creatures that might be lurking in the shadows. It is a primal fear that has haunted us since the dawn of time. This fear is not just about physical danger, but also about the unknown, the unseen, and the unexplained. It is the fear of what we cannot control, of what we cannot predict. The basement, with its darkness and its secrets, becomes a physical manifestation of this fear. It is a place where the boundaries between reality and imagination blur, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and where the mundane becomes terrifying. It is a place where our imaginations run wild, where shadows take on sinister forms, and where the whispers of the past seem to echo through the stillness. The creak of a floorboard, the rustle of a curtain, the flicker of a light. All these sounds and sights take on a new, more menacing meaning in the basement. Perhaps this is why basement horror stories continue to resonate with us. They tap into our deepest fears, our most primal instincts. They remind us of the fragility of our existence, of the thin line that separates the known from the unknown. They tap into a deep-seated fear that we all share, a fear that is as old as humanity itself, a fear that has been passed down through generations. It is a fear that is both personal and universal, a fear that speaks to the very core of our being, a fear of the dark, of the unknown, of what might be lurking just beyond the reach of our senses. It is a fear that is both irrational and rational, a fear that is both real and imagined. It is a fear that we cannot escape no matter how hard we try. These stories remind us that there are still mysteries in the world, mysteries that challenge our understanding, that defy explanation. They remind us that there is still so much that we do not know, so much that we cannot explain. Mysteries that challenge our understanding and leave us questioning the very nature of reality. They remind us that the world is a strange and wondrous place, full of secrets and surprises. And perhaps in the end, it is this sense of wonder and mystery that keeps us coming back to these stories, that keeps us searching for answers in the darkness. Section 10. What lurks below? So the next time you find yourself standing at the top of a basement staircase, hesitate for a moment. Listen to the sounds. Feel the temperature drop as you descend, and ask yourself, what might be lurking below, hidden in the shadows, waiting to be discovered?